I never imagined my marriage would reach the point where silence spoke louder than words. For years I believed in my wife, believed that even in our disagreements, she would at least try to meet me somewhere in the middle. But what happened recently shattered every assumption I carried about us. And the ending replays in my mind like a scene I can't quite process. It started with a trip she had been organizing with her friends. On the surface, it seemed harmless enough. A few days away, just a break from the routine. But something about it gnawed at me. I couldn't fully explain why. Maybe it was the timing. Maybe it was the way she couldn't quite look me in the eyes when we talked about it. Or maybe it was the instinct you can't shake. The quiet warning inside that tells you something is wrong. I told her more than once that I didn't feel right about it. Not because I wanted to trap her. Not because I wanted to take her freedom away. But because deep down I knew this would only widen the cracks already forming between us. Lately, our arguments had been piling up. Small ones stacking into something heavier. I felt this trip would push us further apart instead of helping us heal. But she dismissed my words like they carried no weight. I need this. You're overreacting, she said, as if rehearsed. And then she packed her bags in front of me, her movements cold, her face unreadable. Watching her roll that suitcase out the door felt like watching a stranger walk away, not the woman I had built a life with. That night, I sat in the quiet of the living room, staring at the space she had left behind. I thought about calling her, pleading with her to stay. But the more I sat with it, the more something hardened inside me. Why should I hold on to someone who refused to hold on to me? So I made my choice. I didn't yell. I didn't smash anything. I didn't even cry. I just disappeared. I turned off my phone, cut off every way she could reach me, and stepped out of her world without a trace. No calls, no updates, nothing. I wanted her to feel the weight of absence, to understand what it's like when the person you rely on vanishes without warning. Hours went by, then the whole night. My phone stayed dark. No messages, no good night, no concern. Maybe she was too wrapped up in her getaway. Maybe she didn't notice. But with every passing hour, the silence pressed harder against my chest. By morning, something inside me shifted. I didn't regret vanishing. In fact, I felt lighter. For once, I was the one in control. I went about my day as if nothing was wrong. But in truth, I was waiting. Waiting to see if she would notice. Waiting to see if I still mattered. Late in the afternoon, there was a knock at the door. At first, I ignored it. But it grew louder, sharper, almost frantic. My heart pounded as I finally walked to the door. And when I opened it, there she was, eyes swollen, suitcase at her side. Looking nothing like the confident woman who had left. She looked wrecked, terrified, and small. We stood there in silence until she finally whispered, "Why did you disappear?" I didn't answer right away. I searched her face, waiting for honesty, for something real. And then I said the words I had buried for too long. "Because you left me long before I left you?" Her tears spilled over as she tried to explain, tripping over her words. Insisting the trip wasn't what I thought, begging me to believe her. But it didn't matter anymore. It wasn't about where she had gone. It was about the fact that when I needed her, she chose to walk away. Her voice broke as she pleaded, but my heart had already moved on. I wasn't furious. I wasn't broken. I wasn't even sad anymore. I was free. And for the first time, I saw everything clearly. The deepest betrayal isn't always lies or infidelity. It's leaving when someone needs you to stay. She stood there begging, but I had already made my choice. I wouldn't disappear again. This time, I would move forward without her. When I closed the door and left her on the other side, I understood something I should have known long ago.